Welcome, friends, to an update on Eternal Impact from the Garricks. We're recording today from our home in Sisters, Oregon. Yes, it's true. If you have not heard, we have resettled in Central Oregon as a part of our New Day strategy.
The past 24 months have been filled with transitions and exciting opportunities, and we want to update you on how things are shaping up and how we can serve together over the months and years ahead.
We appreciate your patience, by the way, with all the transitions and speed bumps in our communications. It's been a wild ride these past 2 years, so let's catch everyone up and reflect for a few minutes on what started this New Day campaign.
As we were coming off of a year of COVID craziness, we were feeling restless and sensing God had new plans ahead for us and for the church we were pastoring and for the work of Eternal Impact. For over a decade, John and I have had a vision of committing a larger portion of our ministry to encourage, coach, and support pastors and Christian leaders through one-on-one and couple-to-couple shepherding. These men and women are on the front lines of the kingdom of God and are far too often the casualties of both enemy attacks and friendly fire.
Over the years, we've been called many things. Missionaries, evangelists, church planners, pastors, consultants. Have we done all these things? Well, yes. Although we've been credited with planting churches and launching ministries, organizations, we actually have been planting and launching leaders who we have loved, encouraged, and mentored. These are the leaders who have humbly served at the tip of the spear as we have come alongside them to help them navigate life and ministry. And we know healthy leaders produce healthy families, churches, and organizations.
But unfortunately, most ministry leaders are isolated and in desperate need of a sacred and trusted relationship where they can honestly and willingly walk in the light with someone who's not their boss, a board member, or their subordinate. We have been those confidants and mentors for many, but the need is growing. A recent Barna research study shows that since 2015, pastors claiming to feel lonely and isolated jumped from 28% to 47%. So clearly, they need help. Our 33 years of ministry experience has brought us to a God-sized pivot in order to meet this need. It's a transition firmly rooted in the gospel and forged through the crucible of life and ministry.
So we hired a consultant. We sought godly counsel, and we pressed into the Lord, asking for him to clarify his call and to give us the discernment to adjust our trajectory. Through the process, it was confirmed that we needed to trim off some responsibilities in order to create more margin in our schedule for these weary leaders. And along the way, God's vision for a retreat home was fanned into flame, a place in a destination location where we could welcome these leaders for rest, refreshment, soul formation, and redeployment.
All of this was culminated in what we called the New Day campaign that we launched in the fall of 2021. It was a way for us to reach out to our patrons and partners to let them know that significant changes were on the horizon.
Although we may not have understood all that the Lord was doing, we did know that God was doing a new thing and was clearly not calling us to put new wine into old Eternal Impact wineskins. We could see the vision of what it looked like working, and it was going to take a lot of prayer, fasting, faith, research, training, travel, and some good old-fashioned hard work.
And here we are now, nearly 2 years into this process, and we're excited to share with you what's next. But first, how about we give you a quick snapshot of all that's transpired since the fall of 21. Now, hold on tight, because we're going to go fast.
Here we go. We deployed Missio Dei Community, the church that we had been pastoring part-time in Oregon City for the previous 10 years. We love and miss these people.
I left my job with the city to work with EI full-time in retreat development.
We deployed Pastor Elisha Kakaraway and the Amaziba team in Uganda as an independent ministry in East Africa. They're opening schools, overseeing 65 church plants, sponsoring children, and advancing good news. What a great team.
We welcome new campus partners at the Epicenter in downtown Oregon City while keeping a small HQ for Eternal Impact. Such a beautiful campus.
We deployed Ben Clifton to launch the work of Apologetics on Mission. Since then, he's taken multiple teams around the globe teaching others how to defend their faith. Way to go, Ben.
Eternal Impact produced 30 episodes of the weekly Live It Out live stream. We started in our studio in Oregon City and eventually took the live broadcast with guest interviews and commentary on location with a mobile studio.
We began to prototype and host retreats through barred and rented locations for pastors and leaders. Thanks, Cara Springs and other partners and friends for your help with this.
We spent 10 months on the road, covering thousands of miles, visiting over 40 retreat locations and interviewing their staff and directors.
Last August, following God's lead, we sold nearly everything and moved out of our house of 20 years and into a fifth wheel to allow us to be more agile while looking for potential retreat home locations.
In March of 22, John started Soul Formation, an 18-month program designed to deepen his faith and understanding as a part of his training to become a spiritual director.
With our house now empty, we rented our home to 5 young men. We called it Shiloh Homestead. This was managed by our son Sam and designed to allow them to experience living in a Christian community together.
We made a trip to the South, meeting with our supporters and receiving training on providing quality hospitality at Windshape Retreat in Rome, Georgia.
Just since January of this year, we have
narrowed down our search for our new retreat destination to Sisters, Oregon.
Hosted 4 more retreats at Cara Springs.
Returned to Georgia for more training at Windshape Retreats.
We are introduced to Standing Stone Ministries, a ministry focused on shepherding shepherds and facilitating leadership couples retreats. We have begun to develop a partnership with this vital ministry to help us serve more pastors and leaders.
In May, we put our house in Oregon City on the market. Thanks, 24/7 Properties.
Although planning to move down to Central Oregon in our fifth wheel, God provided a rental home on May 1st in Sisters, Oregon that allowed us to move into a brand new home with an office and guest room.
Since we now had a house in Sisters, we sold the fifth wheel, and now we're back in a stick and brick for the foreseeable future. I did love that thing, though.
And less than 50 days from this recording, we will be gathering friends and family to celebrate Sam and Jordan's wedding this September.
Yay. Other than that, we have been totally bored.
And now you understand why we called this campaign a new day.
God made it clear to us over a year ago to use this season to get our house in order for the ministry and for our home in preparation for what He had in store. To the best of our abilities and with a ton of divine grace, we've done it.
So looking ahead, Eternal Impact will now be focusing on addressing the needs of our Christian leaders to navigate life and ministry. Over the next year, we will raise our full support so we can continue to meet regularly and encourage and mentor leaders while providing them rest and spiritual direction in a retreat setting. We will serve locally, regionally, and globally to help strengthen our leaders and prayerfully advance the vision of a permanent retreat location here in Central Oregon.
In order to do this, we're going to need further training to build a solid foundation. So next month, we will be attending a 3-day intensive offered through Standing Stone Ministries. While there, we will discuss how to better shepherd the shepherds, as well as learn to implement new ways to connect with and inspire a growing team of partners. We want to become the best at what we do.
As we wrap up this video, we want you to hear the genuine expression of gratitude we have for each of you who have stood with us in prayer, encouragement, and financial partnership. God continues to demonstrate His generosity through you, and we are both humbled to have you as a vital part of our team. Thank you. We will continue to remember you in our prayers and ask for His favor over you and your family.
Although the New Day campaign may be coming to an end, clearly there are new adventures ahead. So whether you've been a part of our team for decades or you are hearing about us for the very first time, we invite you to celebrate what God has done and advance with us to make
an eternal impact.